Life can bring us down, but turn it all around.
Hello and welcome to Ex Witness Awake. I am Jonathan, your host, and today we will have yet another interview with a member of the Apostate Coalition. So I was happy to be able to have an interview with someone a couple of weeks ago, and now we're going to give it a go again and see how it goes. All right, so my special guest for today shall be Rion. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
And how are you today?
I am doing excellent. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're quite welcome. You've got some good content, which I'm sure you'll be able to talk about somewhere in this interview.
Oh,
and
sure.
I've been anxious to have a conversation with you and see what's going on with you. And you know, of course, I like to highlight everybody's stuff that they do so that it, you know, promotes.
Yeah, I know. You feel like so weird when you talk to people because it's like, oh, okay, well, this is what I'm working on now, and like I feel like I'm not famous, but you start to feel like you got to like tell people what you're working on. It's weird. It's just very weird.
Just pretend you're famous.
Okay,
I remember the time when I had this interview back in 2022.
Well, I'm just wondering why you don't have all the green M&Ms picked out of my bowl for me. Excuse me.
I apologize. I only had the brown ones out.
How dare you? Tell me what you got.
Okay, so let's find out a little about you. What is your story? How did you? How long have you been one of Jehovah's Witnesses, or were you one of Jehovah's Witnesses?
So I tell everybody that I was pretty much a Jehovah's Witness for the entirety of my life, so like 40 years. But I was off and on for a while because I had gotten married in my 20s to a worldly person. So there was like a good 5 to 10 years where I was really back and forth with it. But I mean, for the most part, I would say for 40 years, I had that cult mentality. So you don't leave that behind, even if you're not in the religion. So as far as I'm concerned, I was a Jehovah's Witness the entirety of that time.
That makes sense.
What everybody says.
Yeah, I guess you don't check the personality traits that they drill into you at the door.
Mm-hmm. Right. No, and you don't even necessarily leave the beliefs behind either. That's not just, same with relationships, with any relationships, even if they hurt you, harm you, cheat on you, whatever it might be, there's still those feelings there. That doesn't just go away. I mean, most of us don't even realize like the things that we're being put through. So we don't even know how much it's affecting us until you kind of start to back out of it and you're like, oh shit. Like, damn, I used to think about that.
I have trauma. Damn it.
Yes, I have trauma. Oh my God. I didn't know that. You kind of think your life is, you're a witness, life is grand. So you don't really.
Oh, yes, because it's the best life you can live, right?
Right. They make you feel guilty for feeling bad or having emotions. Like, how dare you? You have the chance of everlasting life. You should always be happy. Jehovah loves you.
Mm-hmm.
Jehovah loves you. You should be so happy. So my life story, I mean, there's not really.
I can tell you're a giant goofball, which just fits in perfectly with my kind of skill set.
Exactly. Like, it's okay. We can just kind of like interview each other. Like, no worries. People will figure it out. They can listen to a conversation. Nosy people, they'll be fine. Mm-hmm. They'll figure us out. But yeah, I pretty much was a Jehovah's Witness, I'd say, for the entirety of that time. I'd gotten baptized as a teenager. The whole wanting to have a license and get a job, so you have to get baptized to do that. So I did that.
Did they blackmail you for your license for that?
Yeah, because back in the day you could get your permit at 15. Mm-hmm. So Guess who got their permit at 15 years old? Yeah, this girl, she got
So
baptized. Whoop, whoop.
they attended the Tony Moore School for extorting your children to get baptized.
Yep. Yeah, and
Nice.
you know what's so funny is I remember it happening. Like I knew it was happening, but it just seems so normal. Like that's just kind of how and you somehow feel like it was your choice. Like they make you feel like it's your choice
Mhm.
because of how they indoctrinate you with, they coerce you to the point where you don't even realize you're being manipulated. You have no clue. So you just do what's asked of you because you feel like, oh, you're right. If I want the privilege of being able to have a job, well, I should want the privilege of being one of Jehovah's servants, especially because you know better. And if you know better, then you're supposed to be responsible, get
Mhm.
baptized. So that's what I did. And yeah, that didn't work out so good because I ended up getting disfellowshipped few
Whoops.
years. Whoopsie.
I've done that
Yeah, I mean,
currently.
it seems like it's a pattern for, I mean, I had three of my friends, three or four actually. Now that I think, if I had really counted, it could be more, but I had that many friends who were getting disfellowshipped at young ages.
Mm.
And I wonder now, like, if they even realize how traumatic that was for them.
I
Hmm.
was a late bloomer, so I didn't get disfellowshipped until until my 30s.
Oh, you were able to control yourself until your 30s. Did you have like a midlife
Something like
crisis?
that.
I'm just kidding. Who they catch you on anything anyway. Who what I'm saying is, for some person they could find something worth being disfellowship for, and then for somebody else they'd be like, oh, it's okay, we know you're trying. So who knows what they disfellowship people for? They just make up their own rules as they go.
And
um
it varies from congregation and like case by case because
yeah,
um you could
and
be
people don't
someone.
realize that.
Hmm?
People don't, like, Jehovah's Witnesses don't realize just how different it can be from congregation to
Oh
congregation.
yeah.
Sorry, because we're so taught that everything's united and everything's the same, and it definitely is not.
Yeah, they may have a rule book for the elders, but it doesn't mean that they follow it
Right.
exactly the same.
Mm-mm. No, because
So
everybody will have their own standards and whatnot that they think is good to keep for their congregation. I'm sure some are worse than others for their
oh yeah.
treatment of people. So,
And
um,
it can be easily, if they like you, they'll be a little more lenient. If they don't like you, well, you're screwed.
right, exactly. So, yeah, they didn't find me repentant enough. How dare they?
Oh, do it.
But then I did end up getting reinstated about a year and a half later,
Okay.
and I did stay in for a couple years, and then ended up almost like into the point where I could have got disfellowshipped again. So I got married to avoid that situation. And also I was going to get kicked out of my parents' house for not behaving appropriately.
Ah.
So yeah, so I got married to avoid being homeless, and that was not
I
good.
guess married or homeless. I'd go with married too.
Yeah, that it was not a good solution, but it is what it is. But I was in a like terrible marriage for, honestly, I was only in the marriage for a few years, and then I left, and then it was back and forth for the next like 8, I want to say,
Mhm.
because he just would continuously pull me back. Ugh, it was
Ah.
terrible. But you know what? The thing is I was programmed for that kind of relationship because that's kind
Mhm.
of like how it is inside of the religion. There's always this push pull kind of mentality, and you don't quite leave it behind. And I always continued to return, to the organization. A lot of times because I was forced to, because I didn't have a place, to go. If I left my husband, I'd go to my parents. Your parents, you have to follow their rules. So you have to go to the Kingdom
Yeah.
Hall, whether you're an adult or not. Even if you have kids, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Um, and it wasn't until really, I want to say somewhere around 2000. I know it's so weird, but there was somewhere around 2012. I started to realize I was making like these same mistakes over and over. Like I'm like, I feel like I'm a good person, but I have issues, of course, but I continuously make the same I make these rash decisions. I don't even know how to make decisions. Like all the decisions I try to make, I'm thinking I'm trying to base it on some fucking Bible story from
Mhm.
2000 years ago. That's not healthy. And then at some point I had gotten in a terrible fight with my ex. And this was finally at the point where he let me that I think that's probably what was the catalyst, but finally we got divorced, and but then there was this huge blowout, and I started I started to go back to the Kingdom Hall again because I was back at my parents' house, and I had a couple like minor bad experiences with um like some of the people there. Nothing huge, but somebody made a really like negative comment about me being embarrassed,
Mhm.
and I was like, I'm a single mom working 2 jobs. I can't always make every meeting. I can't do everything that you want me to. I'm doing my best to get my life back on track here at the Kingdom
Mhm.
Hall, and you're judging me. And then I got called, like, to meet with the elders because somebody said I was behaving inappropriately, and I was like, "Well, I don't have any friends. Nobody at the Kingdom Hall wants to hang out with me, so I still hang out with my worldly friends, and if my worldly friends wanna hang out, like, I'm gonna do that."
So you're kind of a
And
loner in the congregation, more or less?
yeah, because when I
Yeah.
started going back, it was just I felt like I was treated differently, like I was looked at differently. I think that some people tried. I know there was a few people who remembered me from as, like, a child
Mhm.
and were super kind to me, and, like, I still love some of them, as people. I know they're good people, I just feel like they're misled, but it was different. It wasn't the same. People judged me, people just didn't wanna associate with me. I think I was considered just bad association. So after that meeting with the elders, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm not going to get disfellowshipped again. Like, I'm not, what am I even here for? Like, things just weren't making sense to me. And I
Mhm.
started to realize that a lot of the negative, like I was saying, I had negative thoughts, and a lot of those negative thoughts started coming in every time I'd go back to the Kingdom Hall. So that's part of the pattern that I noticed. Like I would kind of feel better, and I go back to the Kingdom Hall, and then I would be dealing with like these same rhetoric, the same rhetoric that's just
Mhm.
drives you bananas, the same thing over and over and over again. And I think that was when I realized all the negative thoughts in my head were being put there by them. Like, it's not that I don't have negative thoughts. I'm not saying that. But the thoughts that I was having about myself were because they were telling me I wasn't good enough. Like, oh, you can't go out in service. You're not making every meeting. Oh, you're not doing enough. You're not making Jehovah happy. Nothing that I was doing was ever
Mhm.
going to be good enough. And I realized, is this what they're implanting in my head? Is this what I really feel? Is this what Jehovah really feels? Like, what is really happening here?
Mhm.
And then I want to say probably within a year of that happening or two, my daughter had said something to me about the Jehovah's Witnesses being actually not a year or two. I'm sorry, this is like a year's process. But anyway, two
It takes
years
time.
ago, there's so many things that happened. But 2 years ago, my daughter had said to me, like, "Hey, mom, me and my boyfriend were watching this thing on YouTube. I mean, not on YouTube. This cults and extreme beliefs on A&E, and they said the Jehovah's Witnesses were a cult." And I was like,
That needs to be required viewing for everyone.
my head, like I honestly that day changed my life because I that was the moment that things started to click, like all those little pieces of evidence, all the red flags, if you will,
Mhm.
started to make sense after that day. Like,
So
oh,
you were
there's
kind of
a
having having
Yeah,
doubts, but it took your daughter to go, "Hey, ma,"
yeah.
and you're
It
like,
was like
"Oh,
all the pieces fit. Yeah,
okay."
yeah, and I just kept repeating the word cult over and over and over again. And I think it was within a day or two, I found that and I watched it. Like that whole day, I just sat there and watched each episode. And I think I probably shook for a good solid year. Like literally, I was having like anxiety attacks because I was realizing that the organization that I had like protected and cared about and
Mhm.
always took any issues that I had, I always took um, the I don't know what you want to call it. Of course, I should take the responsibility for all my actions, but a lot of my actions were because I wasn't taught properly how to be a normal human being in society.
Yeah. They
If you
don't
know
teach you
what
how to be a person. They teach you
I'm
how to
sorry,
be
what did
like
you say?
they don't teach you how to be a functioning person. They teach you how to be a culty robot.
Right? You don't really. I never knew. I don't even know how to talk right now, but don't know how to express my feelings and emotions very well. Like I'm great with laughter,
Mhm.
that's fine. But some of those in between yeah, but but some of those in between things are just not things that you've ever dealt with because you simply didn't have depression or you simply were never unhappy because you weren't supposed to be because
Right.
that's just how it goes. And yeah, everything started clicking and it really did, like I say, that day was monumental for where I am now. I mean, it took me a year to really start to, I think, break through. Like kind of what I did is started to break through all of their doctrine and like, now I know why that never made sense and why I questioned that and they couldn't like things like I don't know, I just felt like the weight was actually coming off of me, like all the years that I held onto all those nasty negative
Mhm.
feelings were just starting to like come off and I was like, "Oh my god, like I can heal. I can be kind to myself. I don't have this terrible record in my head of just saying, oh, you just keep fucking up. You're never going to be good. Like, why are you even trying? Like, you're not even worthy. Like, just terrible, terrible things. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
like deconstructing is going to be this miracle thing. But
Mhm.
for me, for a lot of the issues that I had personally, yeah, a lot of it did kind of just start to like, wow, I wasn't trained properly. That's why I made shit like, okay, that's why I kept doing these things over and over. I was trained to just continuously come back. I go back to get the medicine for the illness I didn't really have. Well, I mean, I might have an illness, but I'm just saying, not
That's a
sin.
different story.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just thinking how you were saying like they're trying to encourage you by telling you that you're not good enough and that you're not there enough and you're not in service enough. So their encouragement is just discouragement for you. It's like
Yeah.
they might as well just shut up. You'll probably feel better.
Yeah, they'll tell you like, "Oh, you'd feel better if you gave more of your time to Drova. If you went out and service more, you'd feel better about yourself. You have too much time on your hands." Like, bitch, no, that's not. No, that's just
Have
not
you
how that
considered
works.
your personal circumstances? Can you give more to Jehovah?
Oh my god, I can't with these dudes. Please, just oh my, I
You're so out of touch.
so out of touch. And you know what's so funny is I had like okay, so you saw my video of the governing body,
Were you
and
impersonating him?
yeah, when
Yeah, yeah.
when
That was
I was
good.
I have that face for Stephen Lett. I got the like elastic face. I can make his faces. But when I went to go search for the picture,
Love it.
that was good. That was good. Um, now I'm
He's an
crying.
animatronic robot, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, like, if you peel back the skin, there might just be like globs of gloop in there. I don't know what you find.
He's like Five Nights at Freddy's as like governing body.
Yeah, I'm afraid like one day his face is gonna pop up on screen. I'm dead, you know?
Yeah.
Oh shit, what was I? Oh, anyway, so when I was searching for the governing body's picture, and I just searched governing body and then did images, and then all these old pictures of the other like older governing body members, and I was like, girl, like how did you not like how is it not clicking to you that these dudes preach that they're basically they kind of preach to you that they're not going to die, because it's almost as if when they die then the world's gonna the Armageddon's gonna start in motion.
Mhm.
And you realize that there's been like how many groups of dudes who have fed that same bullshit over and over,
Yep.
and people just like, it is mind-boggling to me. I don't understand it. I really don't understand. Like that picture, those pictures were like, and they're all old dudes. Like
It's like a bad reality TV show. We're like on a season 100. They need to change the plot.
yeah, it's like the what are the soap operas? It's
Yeah.
a full half hour, and like dudes only went from the door to the car. You know what I mean? Like he's not gotten anywhere.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh!
As the world turns into the Great Tribulation.
Oh my! You know how funny that would be, like as a skit, like overact, like people overacting and stuff like that. Is the world ending today, Maria? My dramatic ass. Sorry.
I'm not Maria. I'm her twin.
And I'm possessed by a demon. Everybody's possessed by a demon in the Kingdom Hall, so I
Oh, of
think
course.
it's like I think it fits. I think it fits. Although
Craziness.
they're not quite as bad as like Greg Locke and no, I shouldn't say that. They're bad. They're just they're different bad.
Wait, who's Greg Locke again?
Greg Locke is the one who recently said that children with autism are being attacked by demons.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. And then he recently said that he has all the names and addresses of the witches in his congregation. And he might give out their names and addresses of the witches.
Dox the witches, huh?
And he said the demons told him who the witches were.
What?
So who do the demons work for? I'm so confused.
So what you're saying is you're communicating with the demons.
Mm-hmm. You're like BFFs.
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, what did she say about Roxanne? Tell me. Like, what the hell? Oh, and you know what he said too? That was like what the like? This dude just makes shit up. Well, they all make shit up. But he said that when Jesus cast out demons, like specifically when Jesus cast out that herd of demons,
Yep.
and the pigs went into the water, well, the demons didn't die, so the demons just came right back and infected people. So is that like an MLM? Like, so you always have the demons that never go away. So you got to like recruit people in so you can protect them from the demons. But really, you're only infected with the demons if you're in, like, it's this weird relationship where you're only infected if you're Christian. But to be healed of the demons, you have to like go to the church. But then once they heal you from the demon could just come right back out into like the next person in the church. You see what I'm saying? So like,
why waste a good demon? You know,
demons are hard to come by. Like a demon who really wants to work. It's hard.
What's that?
I said finding a good demon who really wants to work. It's like hard.
It's true.
They're rather lazy, those demons.
I'm on break. Leave me alone.
I'm on break for the next 5,000 years.
Yeah.
You can take this one.
That's right. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
So where are we at in your story? So you've kind of you're in the midst of deconstruction, right?
So I was in like the midstist
Yeah, that's
of
the word.
that's close enough.
Sure.
Midst of deconstructing, and I think it was probably because COVID had just hit, and I was just deconstructing. So I was probably like 3 months in, then COVID hit. I'm kind of like shaking and shimmying, trying to figure all this shit out for the next year. And somewhere at that point, somewhere within that year, I had joined TikTok because I had saw a lot of people posting like really good information about like people protesting and whatnot for like George Floyd. And I was like, oh, looks like there's some really good information out there, like people actually on the streets. And I wanted to see that versus like what the camera was reporting. And then I started coming across like JW content. And I was like, there's so many people with similar stories. And I just felt so alone for so long. And you just feel like you're a bad person. That's kind of just how they make you feel about yourself. And
Yep.
I was just seeing so many people who were sharing the same type of stories or or worse or whatever, but just so many stories, so many faces. And I was like, wow, like we're really not alone, but they don't want you to talk about it because they want you to feel alone.
Yep.
If you have that fear in your heart of even speaking a bad word, because that was kind of what held me back. I was always so afraid of like getting in trouble. You sin against the Holy Spirit, you're going zo for good zo. Um, so I didn't ever want that. Um, but I don't know.
I regret to inform you you're gone. So
Yeah, I mean, that's what they say. That's
no.
the one sin that you can't recover from.
Okay, that kind of makes me wonder. So if someone is known to be an apostate, and they're like, I changed my ways, I would like to come back. Are they saying, nah? Or are they going to let you back? I don't understand that. So how does that work?
That is a good question, because who are they?
I'm sure there's a scenario where that's happened where someone's like, I changed my mind. It is the truth.
Not?
Whatever. I want to see
Right.
my uncle.
I could see it. I could see it. It's a shame,
So,
but I could see it happening. I
wonder.
wonder if they would completely be like, no, too bad. But then I feel like they'd want the money.
And the
I
control.
don't know. Yeah, because better in than out. They're so weird anymore.
Plus, if you're back in, you're not speaking out. You're not actively being an apostate anymore. So that works for them, right? They're controlling you again.
I do suppose that's possible. I wonder what tricks they're going to be up to in the next few years as they do whatever switcheroo they're going to be doing. At some point, I guess they're going to be doing some switcheroo. And
well, I mean, their whole generation thing, it's already spread super thin.
Yeah.
They have nowhere to go with it. So they have to do something, or else they're going to, pull a disappearing act and it's the rapture. And they're all like on an island somewhere.
And I don't know about you, but I get so many people who make comments on those videos saying, I have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to the JW organization. Like, yeah, I looked it up before I talked about it. I know what I'm saying. I know what they believe. Like, I double checked. You are the one who's like in the organization and doesn't even know what you believe.
So active witnesses are saying, I don't know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they on my which video? Oh, the new light video. Someone said, 2 different people, I'm pretty sure, told me that I didn't know what I was talking about, and that's not what Jehovah's Witnesses believe. And I'm like, so now I feel like I need to make a super instructional video or something about, like, I don't know, the rapture is, I think that was part of what I talked about, the rapture. And yeah, because it's basically Toni Morris isn't going to be there possibly won't be there for Armageddon now. So.
Oh yeah, that's a new light thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I think that's your escape plan.
I guess maybe they're just gonna like run away
That's what I'm
to an
saying. They're going to
island.
head off to an island somewhere, Pleasure Island, for
Could you
for.
imagine? Could you imagine them doing that? Because I kind of could. I kind of could imagine some old dudes trying to do that.
They
Like,
disappear, and 6 months
yeah,
later, somebody goes to an island. They see Tony Morris like stumble out,
right. I'm like,
wearing
oh, it's resurrection! I'm
wearing a
resurrected.
Hawaiian shirt and drinking some whiskey. And he's like, "Whoops!" And he goes back into the bush.
Oh God, please let it happen. I wish that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, those guys can't. I don't know how they've kept it going for so long because I know you certainly didn't think you were going to because you were in it your entire life, right?
Yeah. I was born in.
So you didn't think you were going to make it to your teenage years, I would
I was
assume.
baptized twice, kind of.
Oh, for what? Huh?
No.
What are you trying to do? Like double duty? You trying to go to heaven twice? What are you doing?
Now, my mom was baptized when she was 6 months pregnant with me in '73. So,
Ah, that's kind of cool. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
not
it doesn't
like
mean
yeah.
anything, but it's funny. Yeah,
You were getting baptized while you were in the womb.
that's right. I was still in the oven. But yeah, I was baptized in '88, so I was 15. And I wish I
88?
had. Yeah.
Wait, what?
I'm 48 years old.
What?
Yeah, I'm
Are
48.
you really?
Yeah.
I thought you were younger than me.
No. Okay. See that? That's all gray.
Yeah, but that
I
doesn't
got
mean
lots of gray.
anything. But that doesn't I mean some people go gray at like 20 years old, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I'm so like shocked. That's
Oh, I
cool.
mean, as far as the way I feel about things, I'm like 20, so.
I know. I know. Sometimes I like when I stand up, I forget that I'm as old as I am. I'm like, I still feel like a teenager. I go to get up and I'm like, oh fuck. Wait, that's right. I'm not.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah. My
What?
mind is telling me you can do it, but my body says, bitch, sit down.
Like, who are you kidding?
Sit back down. You know you
Yeah.
can't do that. Come on now. Don't even
Yeah.
try it. Oops.
Actually, I forgot what my point was that I was bringing up. It's gone now. See, there's my brain being 48.
Well, see, you know what I have such trouble with is just I think so many thoughts at one time. That's my fear of like, if I interviewed people, they'd be talking to me and maybe what if my brain goes somewhere and they say something, I'm like, you gotta ask a question. You know what the fuck they just said?
What?
So anyway, that's
Yeah.
what I'll do. I'm like, oh, well, so anyway, let's change the topic here. They just told me about like something happening bad to them, and I'm like, oh, let's just change the topic here.
That's
Oopsie.
nice.
That's nice. Very nice. That's nice.
And the whole family was hit by a bus. That's nice.
That's nice. Well, how you like them bears, honey?
Yeah. So I actually did forget what I was saying. So
That's all right. I mean, okay, let's think here. What can we say? What can we say? What haven't I said yet? Oh, I met all these people on TikTok. I don't know if that
yes.
will jingle a little bell, but seeing all these people like speaking about their experiences on TikTok made me feel less afraid and less apostate like. And then I kind of felt like, you know what, fuck it, I like being apostate. I'm gonna, I'm gonna wear that proudly if that's what they're gonna label me. I'll just be loud and proud about it.
I didn't put on a shirt, so
Exactly. Exactly. Because, I don't, in a way, it's really not fair because we just don't believe. And I think there should be religion should be a personal matter.
Yes.
And if you don't believe it, you don't believe it. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that. And being forced that just doesn't make any sense. Why would people want to force you to believe something that you died? That just boggles my mind.
Well, as far as like their kids, I can understand why they do it because they want to be right. So they want to reinforce it by having their kids become little clones of themselves in their beliefs.
Mm-hmm. It's little soldiers.
Yeah. And they should have an opportunity to figure out for themselves what they believe.
Mm-hmm.
And like freedom of religion is something in most countries you have. And one important aspect of that is the freedom to, practice your religion as you see fit, but also to stop, change your mind, become Catholic and then become a Protestant, whatever. You can do that. But in Jehovah's Witnesses, you can't do that. It's like you sign this ironclad contract when you're, when you're a kid. And then suddenly when you're 60 years old, you're like, yep, you promised you're not going to leave, but I don't believe this anymore.
Yeah. And you can't. And that doesn't make any sense to me, because if I'm a child, when I believe something, just say, for instance, like you and I, we were brought up in it as children and we believe something, but now that we get older and we've learned new information, if God created us, he would want us to use our brains. Yes, no. I mean, that's what I would think. So if you choose to say, hey, you know what? You do you. If you want to believe this is fine. But for me, I'm cool. Why should I have to lose the entirety of my family and friends because of that?
Right.
No, you're just labeled apostate. You're just, you can't have questions. You can't not believe anymore. You knew what was right and wrong. No, I knew what you told me was right and wrong. Yeah. That doesn't mean I have to co-sign that just because I did when I was a kid and didn't know any better. You might have fooled me then, but that's the one thing I find that's, frustrating about being called an apostate. But that's why I'm just fuck it, I'm an apostate.
Yeah, it's just a label they throw on you so that you can, evil apostates and, apostate really is like runaway slave, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it really is. It's somebody who you once owned, somebody who you once controlled, and now they're not within that control anymore. Yeah.
And as you get older, you get new information. You should be able to go, I put this and this together and they just don't fit. Mm-hmm. So, nah, I don't believe this anymore.
And if God can read your heart, then you can't force me to believe something I don't. So God would know anyway. If I'm just going to the Kingdom Hall just to fucking go, the only one I'm making happy is you, because I'm filling the seats. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't make me happy. And it's certainly not making God happy if I don't want to be there. Correct? I mean, that's going off your own teachings. That's what I would say. So it doesn't jive. The math doesn't math. And the logic certainly does not logic. Not with any of these organizations. There's always that conundrum. There's always that circular logic that you just don't ever get out of. The patterns are always circular. The trauma is circular. Coming back in and out of the religion is always circular until you finally just okay, I gotta really make it. Why the fuck do I keep going back to this shit? And for me, that's when I finally was able to make that change, was deconstructing. But that's what I had to do, because otherwise, because I'd left for a few years at a time before, but again, always getting pushed back in. Now you couldn't fucking drag me if you tried.
Oh yeah, there'd be no way. Mm-mm. See, with my mom, she holds out for the fact that we could come back. My sisters and I, I was baptized, my younger sisters were not. And she's always going to be that way, that there's always a chance we're going to come back. So she has this relationship with them, not with me, obviously, because I'm disfellowshipped. But right. No, I'm not. I'm not coming back. I've made that perfectly clear. I put it in a letter to her that at first she told that she didn't read it, and then I come to find out that she did. So I don't know. And then I wasn't quite sure, so I stuck it on a postcard, Ma, because I'm she's gonna flip it over and have to. It's in her face, no, I'm not coming back. This is the way it is. Oh, and here, by the way, here's some things you might want to consider.
Yeah, here's why.
I don't hear from her.
That's so sad to me that a religion of love would separate families from one another. I have so many friends now who are going through that very same thing every day, like every day. And
Yeah.
I could not imagine. I mean, I did live through it on, one small scale, but I I would never want anyone to ever lose their children because the parent doesn't believe, but the child now believes. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, children not hating or whatever, but not wanting to be around their own parent. Like, what the hell? What kind of God? What kind of
Mhm.
God are you worshiping? Where are you getting this from the Bible? Like, it just never, nothing in the Bible really seems like that, like
I
line drawn in stone, like in the sand. To me, I've never, I don't know where they get
like
this
I
shit from.
can't like, personally I can't imagine a scenario with the kids and that, you know, that I would be like, I can't talk to you anymore. It doesn't exist.
Right. Like, what could your child do that you would say, okay, you're not my kid no more? Like, there's nothing, that my kid, other than like kill me or something, you know what I mean? Like, but you know what I mean? There's not, I would, like, that's my flesh and my blood. That's like,
Mhm.
I brought them here. I should see them out as far as I'm concerned, nobody who's a parent, I'm sure would ever want to lose a child first.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that is just no, please, like let me be first. Like I just don't want to live through that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to have to like know that they're here, but they just don't want or can't, whatever it might be. Ugh, ugh. Why? How does that make them feel good? Like, I don't get what the governing body gets from that. I don't know. I don't
Well,
understand it.
I'm thinking back to I don't know if it was a talk or a video or something, to where they're showing, I don't know, a teenage boy or whatever, and he's being disfellowshipped and he's leaving, right? You see him kind of walking out the door, and his parents are like, oh, they're all consoling each
Oh,
other.
that's right.
They're all
Yeah.
upset. What they try and do is they try and portray it as in like they're not upset. They're upset that he's leaving Jehovah
Hmm.
less than they're upset the fact that they're being told they can't talk to their kid anymore.
Right. Nothing to do with the fact that, like, don't you want to hug your son? Don't you want to like call him up and say, hey, like, how was your day? Nothing. But that just, in my opinion, goes to show you how surface level a lot of the relationships are inside the organization. They're just all very, it's just enough to get by. Fake. Yeah, they are. They're just very fake. You can't really talk about your real problems or issues because if you were to say something that they could deem, a stumbling to them, you know what I'm saying? Like if you say I said to you like, "Hey, like don't tell anybody, but like I'm having a crisis in my faith."
Mhm.
Okay, so now I tell you that and now you could go tell the elders because I could have stumbled you. You know what I'm saying? Like you just can't
Yeah.
trust the relationships because you could end up just getting yourself in trouble for trying to be open about what you're going through. So you never can be honest about what you're going through
It's
unless you
true.
want to get disfellowshipped or have some kind of judiciary meeting. And
Mhm.
and nobody really wants that. Like, come on, nobody looks forward to
I'm,
that.
I'm, I wasn't a fan.
No, oh my god, like those meetings change you, man. They change your soul. Like your soul leaves your body during those meetings. They're
It must be
gross.
so much worse for like young women too.
That's what fucking drives me wild is thinking about these young girls behind closed doors with dudes, like old dudes.
Yeah.
For what? Like, why do you need to ask like a young girl like what she enjoys sexually? That's perverted. Like, you don't need to know that information.
It's
That
none
has
of your damn business, old man.
it isn't like doesn't Jehovah know this? So what do you need the information for? It's
It's creepy.
It's so creepy. And I didn't realize, like, I think Mormons do that kind of shit too, like behind closed doors with it's like, who else does it? I'm sure there's probably other religions who are doing this stuff and we don't even
Oh, probably.
know that it's happening. And that's part of my issue with a lot of these little religion. I say little. I think people see them as little because they just seem so like,
I
oh, they're
compare
so
them to like the major ones, and they're small by
right.
comparison. Yeah.
By comparison, they're small, so they do, oh, they're harmless, and they kind of overlook the negative things that are going on. And okay, fine, like I might not necessarily be able to change anybody's mind about these organizations and these cults, but if I could at least maybe stop somebody from getting in, from considering getting in, job well done. Especially like the young kids. Like some of these young kids are so fucking smart. Like if you can get to these kids before they lose that ability to, critical think. Like, as a kid, you're not like the brightest, but you ask all those questions. Well, why? Well, why do you have to do that? Well, why do I have to go to the Kingdom Hall? Well, why do I have to go door to door? You know what I mean? But then eventually those things are just beaten out of you. So
Yeah.
if we can stop these kids from joining this organization, I mean, we can wipe out a whole generation. Listen to me. I'm like,
Get them.
they're like, oh my God, she's demon possessed. Did you see her? What?
Oh yeah. So speaking of kids, like, did you just have your one daughter?
I have two sons. Well, technically, actually, I have two daughters and two sons. One is my husband's daughter, but she's still my daughter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's it. Like dunzo now because I'm old bird. Ain't doing that shit no more. And what I really feel bad is for people who don't have kids because they were in the organization or held off on doing things because they were in the organization. I've seen stories recently of our friends, of our mutuals. And I'm like, damn, like people really put their lives on hold. There was just so many things I've never thought about until like now,
Mm-hmm.
and making friends and comparing stories. And there's just so much more to it. There's so more meat to the story than you even realize until you start like breaking it down. And hopefully the more we talk about it, people will kind of at least listen out. Like if they hear some like, okay, the JWs are in the news again for covering up sexual abuse, maybe they'll pay more attention next time. Their ear will perk up. Who knows? Who knows what it will reach just by talking.
I hope that's what we can all accomplish.
I hope so. I mean, I'd like to. I mean, if ever I can figure out how to do some of like the activism shit, like I'd love to do it. But I mean, that's like shit,
Well, you're kind of doing it anyway. Just doing what you do is part of that, right?
True. I would love more like call to action also, but I don't necessarily even
like how to do it.
What I mean? Like, yeah, I don't even necessarily know like what to do at times. I mean, of course, like I call my senators and legislators and things for that, like with all the shit that we've had going on in the world recently. But I mean, do you call your and say like, hey, are you keeping an eye on the churches?
Yeah.
Are you looking at the churches? I'm like, yeah, bitch. They're bringing money in for us, and we're looking at the churches.
Yeah.
For that money to come in. Exactly.
Besides, there's so many in like Washington that are very religious, and it's hard to know how they'll really react to like trying to do something about even religions that aren't their own. I think it feels a little too close to home, maybe.
But the thing is no one's going to take away you know what I mean? Like if you're a doctor and you're Catholic, like I'm not going to change you being a doctor who's Catholic. I'm not trying to take away your ability to make your decisions. I just am trying to take away your ability to make decisions for me.
Right.
And why is I mean, I know why that's such a problem, but I'm like, my logical brain goes, why is that such a problem to people? Like, I just want to control my body, you fuckers. Leave me alone. What's the goddamn big deal? But then, the fucking weirdos just think they've got some right by God somehow.
Keep doing what you're doing, because someday it'll be like, hey, did you see that new video from that Rion lady? She's funny.
I hope so. Let's hope.
There you go.
People up with laughter. If that's the way we got to do it.
I think it's an effective tool.
Hey, right? I mean, and that's part of what I really want to do, and kind of why I'm starting to get off of TikTok a little bit. Like, I'll still be on there. I'll still post content because that's where I have most of my followers. But I do think I want to start focusing on YouTube and being able to better create like a community and whatnot, and get more in contact with people so we can grow. And then maybe there'll be people who actually do know how to do some of the stuff that, I want to do, because as a community, we'll just be stronger. So why not?
Yeah. And two, I mean, TikTok's great and everything, but that's something very specific. And like, a lot of people aren't involved with TikTok, but everybody's been on YouTube at some point. So there is a chance that somebody could come across your stuff and maybe it'll affect them positively.
Yeah, right. Because it is kind of niche on there. I personally learn a shit ton of stuff because of the things I specifically like want to learn. But, as far as like getting your content seen, you're just, everybody says they have some kind of, they know how the algorithm. Fuck that. Like, you just don't
Nobody knows.
On this video, nobody freaking knows. I mean, if somebody has that figured out, then they should be a millionaire. Maybe they are. The owners of TikTok, certainly are. But I'm tired of the way that they silence people, and they make money from all our content. I mean, so much content we put out. So much content.
Oh yeah.
But violations. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Screw that. I think I would be better sorted to put my time into another app that might be more forgiving and actually want my content on there.
And how long have you been on there, did you say?
TikTok. So now it's been, what year are we in?
The year of our Lord 2022.
2020. I want to say that I got on TikTok at like the end of 2020 somewhere.
Okay.
When did COVID hit?
Like beginning of
2020?
Beginning of 2020.
So
like February is basically when it started getting into the news, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So it was sometime like a few months in.
Yeah.
Everybody was just kind of figuring their shit out. Well, whatever was happening with the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was having breakdowns. So I don't know what the rest of the world was doing. Just kidding.
I don't know what's going on.
No, I was just like, man, I've been lied to.
Well, yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
I got on TikTok. I had a different channel before, but my kid kept breaking into it. He's 5, and so I actually created a hashtag. James stole my TikTok.
Oh.
And he would post all kinds of. He's a interesting kid. He likes to edit videos and make all kinds of stuff. So I was just doing sort of like dad stuff, family stuff on there. I didn't really have any focus or niche or anything like that. And then something happened that's sort of like the catalyst for activism, because it was basically, I was trying to heal some trauma, and I found that it was helpful to talk about this. So that's when I decided to get on. And apparently I did it a lot, because I looked the other day and I had like 750 videos.
Damn.
I'm like, wow.
I haven't actually, I don't know if I didn't even realize you could. Well, I'm afraid to look at how many videos I've made.
Dun, dun, dun.
You're a bad thing. I don't know. Oh shit. Another stat I don't want to know about myself.
But it's been good. It's been cathartic. It's been
a lot of good people I'm sure that you've been, you know what I mean, been introduced to, at
Oh
least
yeah.
on the app. I
Yeah,
feel
for
so
sure.
anyway. I've now I would say I've got, I don't know, I have 20, at least 20 people now who I'm like bonded, who I kind of feel like
Hmm.
I've bonded with over the dumbest shit, even if it's just even if it's just laughing our asses off at something the GB has said or did. I mean, who cares? It's like trauma bonding. Trauma
What are
bonding.
you talking about? We didn't do anything to you.
Well, we're in the final part of the final part. Last days.
Someday you'll be a roasted hot dog.
Like, dude, how how do you not feel weird? Like, he has grandkids. How do you not feel weird saying some of the things you say? Like,
It's pretty crazy.
the fact that they were like angry at parents for questioning what they were teaching kids, like, how dare you? We know what's best for you. Like,
Yeah,
well, apparently you don't, because you get new light all the time. So you actually could be wrong.
it's true.
There's that. Being roasted.
Roasted like a hot dog.
Like, like a hot dog when you're in a
Yeah.
helicopter flying over roasted bodies.
Ugh.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I am such a tenacious person, but I would always back down because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, in my head, I want to live forever. I'm trying to be this good person.
Mhm.
And now I feel like I wish I would have just stood up and said, like, no, I don't believe, it doesn't say that. I don't believe that. And just fuck it, see what happens.
Mhm.
Worst case scenario, I would have got kicked out. Who knows? You know, I would have figured shit out. But I kind of wish I would have done that now, even if that meant like not having a place to sleep. I don't know why, but I feel like that would have been the right thing for me. I would have been happy with that choice. Thanks for the
Um,
image.
Okay, so I'll ask you a question. This is my question I want to ask everybody. So if you could go back in time and give your younger self some advice, what would you tell yourself? Not knowing you when you were younger, obviously, I can tell that you are like a million times happier than you would have been.
Yes. It was like, when I say that it was a weight, I just felt like a bird in a cage. Like, I just felt like I was locked up to be looked at, but never, like, not important enough to fly around and have, your own freedom. You just need to look good for other people so they can enjoy you. And I just hated that life. I didn't know who I was. Like, I'm still now trying to figure out, like, who am I? What do I like? How do I like to dress? There's just, who do I like to hang out with? A lot of times I would associate with people who I didn't necessarily want to, but I felt like I should, or you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how to
Mhm.
say no. And now I'm just learning how to, like, set boundaries. It's hard because it's not something I'm used to, but oh man, it feels so fucking good when like, you're safe.
Yeah.
Feeling safe is like a beautiful thing. I gotta tell you. Gots to tell you. Because I know a lot
Well,
of J-dubs just don't feel safe.
like you said, don't be afraid. You don't look like you're afraid now.
No, I'm just
You got it
really,
going on.
oh my God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really am not afraid. I mean, there are some things I'm afraid of. Like, I never want
No,
to lose my
naturally.
parents.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't want to ever cross that bridge. But at the same time, like, this is my life now, and I'm an adult, and I lived my life for so many people for so many years. And there's no reason at this juncture in my life that I can't do what is best for me, and hopefully can also help maybe bring some other people with. Like, why not? If I can, great. So I ain't scared.
It's when you were saying about bringing people with you, it made me think, like, when you're a witness and you're going to go in service, I sucked at it. So I wasn't going to save anybody from the end of the system of things, but I'm sure going to try and save people from this crappy cult.
Right? That is something I can do. I don't think I was responsible for bringing anybody into the faith. So I will pat myself on the back for that, because I
Good
was
job of being terrible.
I was just like, dude, like it was never natural for me because it was never natural for me. You know, like my jiddu, my grandfather, like he's like, dude's just like bobbity boop, skeet, 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 like just rolls off his tongue. Like he can do that. Me, I just felt like I have to ask you if you'd want these magazines because they are going to tell you you can live forever, please.
Oh, you got. Yeah, that was my brand of service too.
Hi, my name is Jonathan. I'm one of the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'd like to show you these Watchtower and Awake magazines. The Watchtower says, the Awake says, would you like them?
Don't
I don't
you
have
look
any-
very interesting? You see this person, she looks really happy. That's because she's reading the Bible. Don't you want to be happy too?
Could be. Could be because she was brainwashed.
Right. Could be. She has to smile because people are watching her.
That's right.
I have to enjoy this. This is so
Mhm.
much fun talking about Jehovah.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I'm not in it anymore.
Me too. Thank Jesus.
So
Thank you,
tell,
baby Jesus.
tell me and the viewers at home about some of your activism that you do. Like, what kind of stuff do you take videos about and show?
So at first, I think, well, you know, yeah, at first I really just kind of started out with like the comedy, like the funny things. Well, I thought they were funny. I should
I
say that,
say
correct?
me.
Oh my God. So there was this one time I was like really funny and like everybody was liking it. No, but so that's really how I started at first. And I was like, you know, this is really cathartic. Like acting this shit out. It's all the things in my head, like all the scenarios that like used to play in my head, like about the apostles arguing, like, you know, Mark's telling this story, and then like the next apostle was, oh, I like your hat. The next apostle coming on, and he's like repeating the same story, and Mark's getting pissed. It's like all the things in my head when I was younger that, you know, never really made sense. Now I can kind of just have fun and laugh
Mhm.
about it. And, you know, like we said, maybe through laughter, people kind of like, well, you know what, that is kind of funny, or oh, you know what, that doesn't make sense. Like just these little like tidbits or little pieces of, you know, education, but also with something funny can maybe just get people's mind to, I just want people to question shit, even if it's down to the shit that's coming out of
Right.
my mouth. Go ahead, question me. Look it up. Prove me wrong. Do it. Like, just start to question shit.
Because
Read
at
it
least
for
it gets their
yourself.
gears going. Even if they're questioning stuff that you're saying or I'm saying,
Right.
their brain's going, I need to think about this. And it just starts moving in the direction that maybe they're going to think about what their belief system is. Is it right?
Right.
Is this stuff that the
Because-
governing body's giving me right? Or, you know,
Mhm.
the Mormon Church or whatever other organization they're in?
And there's a lot of, you think that people have thought these thoughts before, but there were some thoughts I just probably did not have as a witness because it never had occurred to me. Like the whole cult thing, like when they told me we weren't a cult, I believed it and put that out of my mind. And if somebody said it, I was like, yeah, no, we're not a cult. But the moment my daughter said it, it was like, oh, like the message was just different. And it was at the right time. It was like,
Because Jehovah knows when to give you the food at the proper time.
at the proper time. I'm telling you what, like maybe they're onto something there. But
Yeah.
you know, like when they tell you like to keep going to people's doors because there just might be that one time where they lost a loved one and they might be ready to hear the good news because, you know, they want to see their loved one and pay. Like, bitch, you're taking advantage of people. Like the fuck.
Yeah.
Like that. Like how
You
dare
might find that you can't manipulate them at that moment, but if you keep trying, you might get them at just the right time when their defenses are weak and you can break through. That's essentially what they're saying.
it's basically what it is. Like, you just keep hounding at them, and eventually they might give in. And it's just, what is that called? That's it's like duress. Like, you're doing something under duress because you have to. Oopsie, because they're just continuing to like berate you. So it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go door to door. I'm gonna, like, you don't really, you think you have choices, but it's not till you're out that you're like, oh, and that could just be happening for people.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize. Like, Ember, our friend Ember,
Mhm.
they were saying that every day they have an epiphany. I was like, yeah, me fucking too. Me fucking too. I'm having epiphanies. I forget what the last one was. The last one was lipstick. I don't like lipstick on me. And if you see me wearing it, like, that took a lot of like for me, because it was always like wrong. You know what I mean? Like, I was a whore if I put lipstick on. So I still like held that little piece of like me drawing attention to myself if it was too, because I like the bright shit.
Oh,
Like,
so you're saying that like they kind of screwed with your brain to where you think if you wear makeup, you're being a whore.
yeah, like
Oh,
I
yeah,
have to
that's
be
messed
careful
up.
not to.
That's messed up. You should be able to wear
It
lipstick
is.
because you wanna,
Right, but
and
like,
not
you have
be
this image
affected
of
by.
Jezebel in your head. One sister told me one time, because I wore rings on
You go
my
out the window
toes.
going,
Yes, and falling out the window. But I
she's
had rings
clawing
on
at
my
them.
toes. And she said that, yes, she did. She kind of was like, ah. But the
Yeah.
rings on my toes were what, like, hookers, well, excuse me, sex workers would wear to show that they were sex workers. And I'm like, I was like a teenager, and I just wanted rings on my toes, and I'm
Yeah.
getting told that I look like a sex worker. It's like, you're always sexualized, and you don't, like, I never even knew it. Again, there was like things I just never even realized until I stepped out, and like some people were saying stuff on TikToks, or even like Lloyd, some of his videos, and
Mhm.
Telltale, like some of their videos, like people would say stuff, and I would be like, oh shit. Like, I didn't even, like, that thought never even occurred to me. And it's cool, but it's also sad,
Mhm.
but cool, at least better than not happening. But it's kind of sad to be like in your 40s and like finally figuring out who you are. It's wild waking up in your 40s.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like
Time.
I'm still trying to figure out what I'm all about. Salud.
Right, so I mean, I'm just a freaking 40-something-year-old woman just feeling my way around in the dark. I'm sure there's probably books about it, but I don't know that I'm into that right now, reading books about deconstruction. I think I've done a lot of that on my own, so I think I'm a little beyond that. All I need is some good
I don't have
therapy.
time.
Yeah, I don't have time for those kind of books. I just need some, like, a good therapist, a good smoke, a drink, and a nice chat. And I'm good. Some apostate gabbing, and I'm good. Here's that.
I'll let you in a secret.
Oh, wait, what is that? Is that whiskey? Oh, Di Serono.
Yeah.
Do you have it on the rocks, or that's just straight up?
Oh yeah, I have it on the rocks. It's not good. It's not good for audio, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, whatever. This is cider. I have a gluten intolerance, so I drink cider.
Oh, okay. Cider is good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one's really good, and it's pretty strong too. 6.5. So
That's not bad.
I try to drink it slow, because if I would have drank this like straight up while we were talking, my face would have been. It's already red.
Oh,
Look at it. That's just from.
You're glowing.
Oh, I don't want to glow.
Oh my goodness.
Damn it.
Oh, you know what? We were saying what some of your stuff was. We didn't actually get into what type of stuff you do.
So, because I said I think I started with saying like I started comedy, but anyway, after like I started the comedy, and I was realizing like, hey, there's a lot of things that I've realized from deconstructing, and the things that I'm learning. Like, maybe people want to know about some of this stuff, so I just started trying to spin some of the, not spin it, but just make it sound fun and interesting and get people excited to deconstruct. Oh my
Make
God.
it palatable, as they say.
Yeah. Just, and I figure, these 30-second-minute videos are just perfect for, I think, a lot of the younger kids, and then people like me who just doesn't always have the greatest attention span, if you will. So, to the point, sometimes it's difficult because trying to get the information that you want to say in 30 seconds is just, and then people are like, no, you said this might, no, bitch, I did not say that. You're reading into it. No, I only got 30, I have like 30 seconds to say what I'm trying to say. So like, I can't give you the whole shebang. Like, follow along here. Go back to some of the video. Follow along.
Well, you're not going to do a 6-hour video. You blow your whole content wide.
Well, that's the problem. Like,
And
I've done
nothing left to say.
Yeah, I've done that where I've explained something really thoroughly, but unfortunately, like, then it just fricks with your whole channel, and like, nothing gets seen for a while because your views have gone down. Which is, you should be able to make you shouldn't be penalized for one.
For making long form content?
Yeah, like if I want to like dialogue with somebody and maybe only that person and I am dialoguing, so maybe there's a few videos where there's only like 20 views, 100 views, it shouldn't mean that my next video gets like shit views because of that. Yeah, and that's just like I don't know the games the algorithm plays, but it just really gets frustrating. But I like making like the instructional content. I think people enjoy it anyway, and it kind of forces me to learn, which I love. I love now that I can ask myself questions and then answer the questions, whereas before, like, I couldn't, because that would be wrong to do unless I was researching like the witnesses information. So I like that now it's something that I probably wouldn't have liked before. Now I'm like, I get to read about this God, and this God is so cool. I like it. So that's pretty much.
You've got quite a nice little series there with the whole pantheon, yeah.
Isn't that so cool?
It's interesting.
Did you know any of this? Yeah. I had no idea. Of like the Roman pantheon and the Greeks, and like everybody else gets their, just desserts, I think, like in school. Well, not really, because you don't really learn much about it, but maybe Greek and Roman. But to even know that behind the Bible, like, there was all these little stories that were going on, and then the Bible is like trying to dispute some of them.
That's where they got that from.
Yeah, it makes it like that is the real story. That's what makes it so much more interesting. Nobody wants a lie. Like, the Bible's just like a one-sided story, and we all know that there's always more than one side to a story. So why would you just accept the Bible's one-sided story? That doesn't make sense to your own logic. Like, nobody would say, oh, I heard one side of the story, this one's gonna know. Like, nah, bitch. There are other people who lived at that time, and just because they didn't believe exactly and worship exactly that was written in that book doesn't mean they were worshiping Yahweh, just because they didn't worship how that dude said. So it doesn't make them deserving of death or whatnot, or whatever people might think, or it doesn't mean they're demons. Like, I'm so sick of hearing people, like, if I mention a God, like, that's a demon.
Nope.
Okay, goodbye, block. Okay, goodbye and block. Like, no, stop weaponizing your beliefs. That's so rude to like tell. Like, we shouldn't. I know that, like, just we're kind of doing that to the witnesses. We have to like deconstruct it, whatnot. But it's really rude to take people's gods and turn them into shit. Like, I don't appreciate that, and I don't think it's very respectable. Because they wouldn't like it if we did it to, which is why I do sometimes make fun of Jesus, because I can't.
I've never seen you do that.
What? Me? I love Jesus. I would never.
Yeah. I've seen you dance around as Jesus.
Twerk. I got to twerk as Jesus.
Oh, my.
It's so much fun. I have to tell you, like, there are some times I'm down here in my basement and I'm howling, and I'm like, oh my God, you're so dumb, you're so crazy. But I'm like, you know what? You're having a good time. Like, I'll just be down here dancing, like looking at myself with a beard and mustache, like just twerking. I'm like, oh yeah, get it.
So does your partner sometimes go,
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Like sometimes I'll just walk upstairs and I'll have like my Jesus on or something, and
Yeah.
he'll just look up at me and go, "You're crazy. I love you. You're nuts," because he's English.
oh, I
You're
see.
crazy. I love you. You're a nut job.
Well, bonkers.
You're bonkers. You bloody hell. What are you doing?
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell.
That's
Team
funny.
bonkers, mate. Cheerio. Yeah, so he just, a lot of times he's like, I'll try to show him a video and he'll go like, I don't know what the fuck you're like. I know it, because he wasn't raised as like a Christian,
Right.
really. So a lot of it is kind of weird to him. I'm like, okay, well, do you know who Mary is? do you know who Jesus is? Like, okay, follow along.
I've heard of Jesus.
Jesus, yeah, he works at the local market. I know
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. What's he up to now? What's he up to these days? Oh, Jesus. Any trouble? So,
Yeah.
anyway. You should have let
I
me
just-
drink.
I didn't start you drinking.
He's like, wait, what are you talking about? Like,
I had nothing to do with that.
This.
I didn't say bring your own beer to the interview.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was like part of it. I have to check my messages, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay. But that's fine. If it probably makes for a more fun interview anyway.
Good. I hope so. I
Yes.
you know, like we were saying, like really laughter is, I do think it's a really good medicine, just healing.
Yeah.
Laughing through shit. I mean, even though sometimes like I probably laugh at times where I shouldn't, it is what it is. Sometimes you
Mhm.
heal how you feel. You can't help what makes you feel good. And if a little dark humor lightens the day and lightens the load, why not? Screw it. And a little education. Throw that in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? And you do good videos. I enjoy your videos.
Oh, thanks.
I wish we could all do like some little skits and stuff. That's what we should do. Is do some.
I had an idea. I don't know if I want to say it here because if I ever just, if I decide to go with it, I've kind of,
right.
Let the cat out of the bag. But realistically, I don't have time to do it, so I might as well. But I wanted to do sort of an office / the organization sort of a thing.
Yes, I was gonna do like I was gonna do one, but I was gonna do Full House. Like the Full House, like you know how there's just the intro and
okay.
showing people doing dumb stuff, like just like I did with the other video, but
right.
But like how fucking funny would that be? Like with the gym look, like Stephen Look. Oh my god! Can you please?
Yeah, that would be fun.
You have to figure that one out. That would be so fun. Oh, I'd love it. But yeah, I've been wanting to do stuff like skits, and I'm starting to write stuff down. And now that I have more free time, since I won't be on the tickety-tockety as much, I might be able to focus. Because I've been saying that to you and to the governing body. What's his new name?
Oh, Faithful and Discreet Dave.
Yes, Faithful. Yeah. I've been saying like, oh, we need to like get like a big chat together and just start chopping.
Collaboration.
Yeah, we really should, because I feel like it's needed right now. I think people just need a bright spot. Look at me talking about like I'm special. I think people need me. Okay. They need to brighten up their life. Okay? Sorry, that just sounded so weird.
Not arrogant.
The fame's getting to her head.
I shall deign the little people with my expertise and my my stories. Yes.
You little peons. Don't they make me laugh with my little story?
Sorry, y'all. Like, damn, bitch, we don't even know who you are.
Right now, the viewers are like,
500 followers.
what is this crap? What are they talking about?
What the hell? Who are the Jehovah's Witnesses? Don't they come to our door? Who cares? Oh, I just saw a little fly. Little bastard. Sorry.
Anyway.
Anyhow.
So, where can people find your stuff?
So, you can find me on YouTube as Cultastic.
Cultastic?
Yeah, I think I need to pick a different name, but I don't know. I'm just going to leave it for now because none of my names match up on any of my accounts. Like, don't try to find me.
You do have a few.
I do, but it kind of helps, add to the mysteriousness.
Diversify a little.
Yeah. And on TikTok, I am tax.the.churches. And I am on Twitter, but Twitter is mostly like my activism thing. Like I kind of just like cops doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Call this lawmaker.
Tweet, angry tweet.
Tweet, damn it.
Angry tweets. Anat_Yahoo. So that is the name of another goddess of Yahweh, a consort of Yahweh. Anat_Yahoo. It's in my. If you find my TikTok, it's all in there.
Okay.
That's how
awesome.
you find it.
I'll put it in the show notes so people can just click it. Because what was that again?
Yeah, I know, and half the time I'm mumbling, so who knows what I might have just said something that didn't make any sense. So who knows?
But I do have this idea. I was talking to someone on the Discord, and yes, if you're watching this and you are an ex cult member of some kind, there is a Discord. It's Apostate Coalition. That's in my show notes too. So feel free.
Oh. Well, hello, everybody. It's great to see you. Thank you for coming. It'll be this part of the show where I will just talk about myself. So I am 5'9". Oh no, I don't know what happened to Jonathan. Jonathan, come on back. Jesus loves you. Maybe if we pray. Dear white baby Jesus, please bring Jonathan back. I know that you're listening because I feel your presence all around me and inside me. Amen. Sometimes I'm getting hot now. Ooh. Ooh. Oof. Rut row hot dog. Do. Go to dance. Maybe I should just dance. Sometimes if you dance, it works. It brings people back. Help. Oh no. Why does it say help? Am I supposed to leave? Was that him saying help? Or was that the thing saying help? I think there was a demon. And the demon was asking for help. Here we go. If we dance, come back. Aww. I'm so, should we, can we leave and come back? That's so funny. Sorry. Should I just say, thanks for joining? Okay.
I don't know. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
What if this was your destiny? All that pain just so you could see everything you need is inside you. Everything that you need is inside you.